This is Chapter 3 in NIOS Secondary Course English. Kondiba, a hero. Kondiba Gaikwad hated begging, but the famine in Maharashtra in 1972-73 had driven him from his home in Aurangabad to Mumbai in search of bread. At first, he had tried selling brooms. Unfortunately, he had little luck selling his goods. He soon learned that Mumbai is generous to beggars, especially blind beggars. And 25-year-old Kondiba was blind. He had become blind with smallpox at the age of 8. It was a cloudy day in Golibhar, the large slum colony in Ghatkopar, northeast of Mumbai. Kondiba lived here with Tukaram and Tukaram's wife Yelanbai. It was the end of monsoon. In the middle of an open area in the colony, there was a well. It was full of blackish green water. Nothing could be seen more than a few centimeters below the surface. The well was highly useful to people who lived in the surrounding huts. They had dug it 2 years before because the only water tap in the colony was not enough for the slum's growing population. There had never been any money for wall around the well. The mouth of the well had gradually widened as the soils and rocks on the sides fell in. The bottom was narrow, muddy, and filled with weeds. The well was dangerous, but it had been there for so long that no one worried about it. It seemed harmless. Kondiba had returned to the slum to eat a little food which Yelanbai had prepared. His day's begging usually ended when he had collected rupees 5 to rupees 6 in a small gunny bag. Suddenly, there were shouts and sounds of great confusion. Kondiba and Yelanbai were startled. "Someone's fallen in the well!" they heard a woman cry. Kondiba set aside his meal and said urgently, "Quick, lead me there." Within a minute, the blind beggar and the woman reached the well and pushed their way through a small group at the mouth of the well. In seconds, Kondiba pulled off his shirt and slipped into the water. 2 boys were already paddling around trying to find young Arvind, who had fallen off a tree trunk while drawing water. The boys could not dive. Kondiba had been a good swimmer as a young boy before he lost his sight, but years of poverty had made him weak. Once he had been able to dive deep into the wells around his village to pick up shiny bits of broken pottery that he and his friends would throw in as a part of a game. But it had been many years since he had tried to hold his breath long enough to get to the bottom of a well. Kondiba floated on the surface for a moment, then took a deep breath and dived. Carefully, feeling his way along the rocks on the sides of the well, he reached the bottom. His feet sank into the soft mud. He felt nothing but the mud and the slippery weeds. Tired and with his breath running out, he came to the surface. It was now 2 minutes since Arvind had fallen in. His aunt, with whom he had lived, was at the well. As Kondiba surfaced without the boy, he heard her wailing, "Aigo!" The blind man took another deep breath and vanished into the muddy depths. His first dive had given him a good idea of the shape of the well, so he went straight down and tried to search the bottom with his hands. They slipped in the mud and got caught in the weeds. There was still no sign of the boy. His lungs were nearly bursting. He rose to the top once again. He had been down longer than the first time, so the woman and the children were getting more and more excited. When his head appeared above the water, the crowd gave a sigh of disappointment. Oh. Never in all the years of his blindness had Kondiba missed his vision so much. If only he could see, he might be able to find the drowning boy. He did not know that even normal eyes would never have been able to see in. Kondiba was very tired, but he knew he was Arvind's only hope. He worked as fast as he could, feeling his way through the mud and the weeds. Arvind must be here, he thought. He cannot have vanished. Kondiba's ribs were aching. He couldn't hold his breath much longer. Then, just as he was about to twist his body upright and kick himself to the surface, his fingers felt something soft among the weeds. Cloth. He moved his hand further and touched Arvind's legs. The boy's body was held in the muds and weeds. Kondiba's heart was beating painfully. He badly needed to breathe. He felt desperately for something to hold in order to pull Arvind up and out of the net he was in. Suddenly he felt Arvind's belt. Holding it tightly with his right hand, he pulled up the lad free, turned about and pushed up. His spine and muscles ached. This almost stopped his movements. His weak, starved body fought against what his mind told him he must do. On the boy's belt, Kondiba struggled to push himself upwards with his free hand and feet. It seemed a long time before he rose the 6 meters from the bottom and broke surface. While he gasped for breath, other hands quickly lifted Arvind up and out of the well. Kondiba held onto the well's rocky side. His eyes closed, his body tired. He heard but paid little attention to the sounds of the people trying to give Arvind artificial respiration. Finally, the boy began to vomit water, and cries to joy came to Kondiba, still holding tightly to the side of the well. Then Arvind was hurried away to the hospital. A man helped Kondiba out of the well, and a woman patted him affectionately on the shoulder. Yalanbai led him back to the hut. There Kondiba put on his clothes, finished his half-eaten meal and fell asleep. That evening, a police officer came to tell the blind beggar that the boy he had saved would be all right. Kondiba later learnt that if the boy had been in the well longer, his brain would have certainly have been damaged from the lack of oxygen, and Kondiba had saved him just in time. The next afternoon, Arvind returned to Golibar. He went at once to Kondiba, and while his aunt watched with tears in her eyes, he touched Kondiba's feet in gratitude. Indeed, Kondiba had saved a life, but his own still had to go on, and for him that meant begging. By afternoon, Kondiba was back on the streets of Mumbai with his gunny sack. However, word soon began to spread about the beggar's courage. His picture and the story of his daring rescue were published in many national and local papers. Suddenly, Kondiba became a hero. He was praised by the governor, the chief minister of Maharashtra, and other officials. Rewards totaling rupees 12,970 were presented to him. For a few months, he was given a home in a home for the blind. Here he learned some skills such as bottling and weaving of chair seats. Today, Kondiba lives in Jalna, a market town close to his native village. He has married a local girl and runs a small business. Kondiba Gaikwad's bravery and determination to find the boy in the well had completely changed his own life. The beggar who hated begging need never beg again.